I want to talk a little bit about failure. We are often conditioned that failure is a bad thing. And in our society, I feel like we're often striving for perfection. I know in my life I have strived for perfection in a lot of ways, and I probably called myself a perfectionist. But what I've realized over the past few years is that perfection is really the enemy of progress. And perfection is really the enemy of chasing our dreams because the fact of the matter is, nothing is ever perfect. As much as we want it to be perfect, it never is. I think the other side of that is in the society that we live in now, social media is, of course, such a huge part of that. And when it comes to social media, we really only get the highlight reel of people's lives. So, in particular, when you're looking at a business owner and you're seeing the successes, you're seeing the highlight reels of those successes. You're not seeing all the things that came before that or the challenges and obstacles that that person overcame to get there. So I wanted to share a little bit about some recent obstacles that I have overcome, in particular with this book launch phase. So, as most of you know, my book launch is October 4th, which is very, very close. We are right around the corner. It's such an amazing time and it's such an exciting time. But if I'm being honest, there have certainly been some hiccups along the way and some times where I've been a little disappointed with the progress with the timeline. So in my original plan, the plan that me and my representative at St. Pete Press came up with when we started working together earlier this year was we were going to be able to do more of a pre-launch phase in August through September before the October launch. We took more time to get the cover art right. And if you have been following me on my Instagram channel for quite a while, that you've seen me share kind of through that process what that's looked like. So the cover art has been through, many iterations, and at the end of the day, it just took us longer to figure out where my vision was, where I wanted it to go, and the fact that this is a planned series. So also taking into consideration what book two would look like, so that we have some theming going on. The other aspect of that is the interior formatting. We had some things to go through with that took longer than expected. So ultimately, we took longer than I had originally anticipated to make sure that the cover art was exactly what it needed to be, exactly how I envisioned it to be, and really just making the book the best product that we could possibly, deliver. So, because of that, we lost a lot of time. Essentially, we got about a month or so behind from that original timeline that I had set aside. So, what do we do when these things happen? We could, of course, just sit and be mad about it and be disappointed. And I'm not going to lie and say that those thoughts didn't cross my mind. But what I have learned the past couple years is it's okay to feel those emotions, and those emotions are going to come up, but don't live there. Because if you decide to live there, if you make camp in that negative mindset, in that disappointment, then you're not going to end up reaching your goal. You're not going to get to where you want to go. So understand the emotions, embrace the emotions, but don't stay there. Figure out a way to pick yourself up and find the positive in the situation. Get yourself out of problem mode and into solution mode. So we have had to pivot by doing a digital pre-launch phase with trying to get some marketing things behind it with book reviewers and things like that. So having to send a digital asset of the book as opposed to mailing paper copies to get people to give us some of those reviews and things like that we're looking for. Just being okay with it not going perfectly the way that I had envisioned it to be. The most important thing that I have realized is that at the end of the day, I'm still launching a book. And that's a win. That in and of itself is the success. I am publishing a book. I cannot control any of these outcomes with who reads it, who doesn't read it, who likes it, who doesn't like it, a positive review over a negative review. I can't control any of that stuff. The only thing I can control are my actions. And I know that I'm going to put in the work to keep spreading the word, put the best product that I can out there. And I believe in my book. So I have confidence in it that if I just keep going forward, eventually that success, will be there. And success, I think it's important to define what success means to you. It's not all about making money and how many followers you have and all that stuff. Kind of getting down to what's that why that you started on that path, started that project, whether it was writing a book, whether it was, starting another kind of business. So as long as I keep reconnecting to my why, I'm going to have success. And again, I'm proud of myself for publishing a book. So that in and of itself is a win. When I remember to have that mindset, then it helps me be present and enjoy the journey and enjoy these small victories along the way. You probably saw online that I revealed cover art about a week ago. I was so excited. My graphic designer that I've been working with put together this really cool little announcement reel to reveal the cover. So excited. And I spent the morning of that day getting all the posts scheduled out on social media so that I could announce the cover art. So I put the video out there, show the cover art. It's so exciting. All these great comments. I share my Kindle pre-sale link, all of that good stuff. About 3 hours after I made the post and had other people share. So this is like going everywhere. About 3 hours after all of this has happened, I get an email from Amy at St. P Press, and she's asking a question about the spelling of the word prophecies, wanting to make sure that we keep it consistent throughout everything. And that's when we realized that somewhere along the way, the prophecies with the C at, CIES got flipped to SIES. So prophecies with an S instead of a C. And my jaw went to the floor when I got this email, because I realized that we have all been staring at this cover art, all these different mock-ups for probably about 2 to 3 months. And no one realized that we had misspelled the word to be inconsistent with how I spelled the word throughout the whole book. Like the title of the book, anytime I use the word prophecies in the book. So I had just revealed cover art to the world with a typo in the title. Honestly, I was stressed out, like just instant angst when I realized that. And I'm thinking, oh God, I just pushed all this out there and it's wrong. And so then we were, of course, double checking, getting it fixed for everything going forward. And that means correcting the Amazon Kindle link, which is live. Well, it takes about a full 24 hours for, if not longer, but for sure a full 24 hours for any changes you make to reflect online with Amazon or, any of those platforms. So this link is living out there for a whole day with the wrong word, and I'm cringing inside. But I also know that literally no one noticed it. So, of course, I could have not shared this with anyone, and you would probably never know. But I thought to myself, this is actually a really cool learning moment, and I would love to share it with people. So I thought, let's really look at this from the lens of what am I learning? And the bottom line is, I'm learning that it's impossible to be perfect. This cannot go perfectly. It's impossible. But I'm still launching a book. And us having a typo isn't a detriment to the whole book and the whole future success of a book or me as a business owner, any of that stuff. in life and business, there's always going to be things that happen. If we can flip our perspective and look for the learning opportunity, so seeing it as a growth opportunity instead of a failure, looking at it as a positive instead of a negative, being grateful in the moment for all the things that, are good that have happened, all the other little mini successes along the way. Whenever you flip your mindset and have that perspective, then it's all good. Like you're already winning. So I just thought it was important to share that side of the story. So, of course, we fixed the cover art, and I now have an updated cover art little reel that I'm gonna share out again with the correct spelling of the word. And I, in that moment, I went through some of those emotions of being stressed, being anxious, and a little bit embarrassed of like, okay, well, here I am, this writer, and I freaking have a word misspelled that I didn't catch, and it's been all this time. It's not anyone's fault. It's just life. Things like that happen. But we caught it. It's fixable. It's not the end of the world. And I choose to not be embarrassed about it. I choose to accept the fact that I'm human. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And it's just not a big deal because I'm still launching a book. It's not a detriment to the long-term success of the book or myself. And if I can help other people see that failure is not a negative, but a positive, because you always can find a way to learn from these situations and make, improve your processes, make your life better, make your business better, make your product better, make your service better, all of those things. So I would encourage you to embrace the failures in your life, in your business, and find a way to learn from them, adapt, be quick to adapt and pivot and keep moving forward. Because I promise you, if you just keep moving forward, if you keep a positive mindset, if you keep a mindset of gratitude, your success will become inevitable.